In today's lesson, we are talking about the good stuff. We're talking about speed, we're talking about consistency, we're talking about distance, and we're going to be doing it all with this golf club, the driver. So what we're going to talk about to do that is the backswing and how we create a backswing that's going to basically improve our speed, improve our strike, and put us in a position where we can have a really good sequence in the downswing. And a lot of you will have heard the word rotation or turn more in the backswing or turn your hips more. There's a lot that goes on that people think will help them. It might not help them, but this is something I see in my lessons all of the time where people put themselves in a position that will actually minimize their distance. It will make them slower, it will make them misstrike the ball a lot more, and it's quite a simple change to help you with that sequence. And if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be releasing videos every week to help you get better at golf. And if you do want to come into Trafford Golf Centre here, then please do contact me with the links below. So first of all, what is the importance of our backswing? Well, it pretty much sets up the downswing. And if we can set ourselves up to the golf ball properly and we can create a good movement in the backswing, then that's going to give us the chance to just rotate and release our body and make a really good follow through as well. But what I see so often is people either setting up in the wrong way, that's going to really hinder them making a good rotation in the backswing, and then moving the wrong part of the body at the wrong time or focusing on the wrong thing, often making it too confusing, which puts them in a poor position as well. So let's think about what we need to do in the backswing. We're trying to get this golf club to move in a nice circle around our body on the same sort of swing plane, rather than seeing it maybe move in and over the top or move on the outside and back underneath. We'd be hitting all sorts of shot shapes if we aren't keeping this fairly consistent swing plane line. And that all comes down to how we use our arms, how our arms work in the golf swing, along with our rotation. So first of all, I'm going to talk you through two big mistakes I see. Actually, three big mistakes, one of them in setup and two of them in different takeaways. So the first thing I want you to think about is, if I was to just put a dot on my belt buckle and one on my sternum, and when I see people setting up, they often tilt slightly to the left as they reach forward for the golf ball. So we have this kind of spine tilt which goes towards the target, and that wouldn't be correct with an iron either. This is for any golf club. I know often people will say we should tilt back for a driver, but this spine angle where we tilt towards the target is really going to hinder our rotation, because what I'll start to see is, as I start to take that golf club away, you'll notice that this right hip is starting to slide out to the right, and then all of a sudden I create what we call a reverse pivot. So my weight is in our left leg, weight's now in that lead leg, I'm tilting towards the target, and now I have to move back away to create good contact with the ball, or to hit up on the ball to strike it nicely. And if I'm doing this, it's not rocket science that if I was to try and throw a ball as hard as I can and I started forward and moved back, I'm losing a lot of power. If I was to throw a ball as far as I could, I would probably start on the right leg, I would step forward, and I would release it in a motion where my body weight is transferring over to that left side. So we've got to make sure that our setup doesn't set us up for failure. I want you all to start with your belt buckle and sternum slightly swapped the other way. And I've got a really simple way of doing this. What you're going to do is stand and just put your golf club straight down. I'm using my zip line there, but straight down your chest, under your chin, and then just tilt forward and create a golf posture. So from down the line, you've hopefully got that nice posture where your spine is quite neutral, your knees are a little bit soft, and then all I want you to do is just create a very small tilt until you just feel the shaft of the golf club move halfway towards your left leg. Don't keep going until it gets on the left leg. Just create a small tilt, let the shaft move towards the left leg, and we're now in a position where my belt buckle and sternum are on this angle instead of this angle. Set up in the correct manner, we need to understand how we can rotate our shoulders, how we can rotate our hips, and how we can move our arms through the downswing. And I want to make this really, really simple. So I'm going to get rid of a golf club first of all. We don't need that straight away, because we're just going to work on how we allow our hands and arms to move around the body. And if you just get yourself in your golf posture and let your hands hang down as if you were gripping a golf club, the two things I would see, one of them would be people start to lift their arms away from their body. And as they lift, the hands start to go quite steep. And if a golf club was in my hand, that would start to look a little bit like this, where the club goes outside of the swing plane line rather than on it that we spoke about before. And from face on, what we start to see when we move our arms and lift our arms away is, again, we start to see this left shoulder move downwards. We start to see the hips possibly pop out to the right, and we sway out to the right, and we end up in that reverse pivot again, just by moving our arms, lifting our arms rather than rotating our shoulders. And then that word rotation can be quite dangerous as well, because the other problem I would then see is people kind of rotate this right shoulder too flat behind them. So if I was to put a golf club across my shoulders here, that would be the driver head there going almost horizontal backwards. And from face on, what you start to see is that now I end up moving my head moves over that right foot, and I'm now not really created a good pivot either. I've not created a good rotation, and I wouldn't be in a good position in the backswing to make contact with that ball. I'd be kind of stuck, probably getting the bottom of my arc too soon. I might top it, or what I see a lot of people doing is they have to start working back towards the golf ball. That gets the golf club over the top and also very inefficient. So what we're going to do, like I say, is we're going to take our golf club out of it. We're going to just let our hands hang down. And I want you to sort of imagine, just using a mirror behind you, I want you to sort of imagine your hands moving at a 45-degree angle up here. And that will mean that you are rotating your shoulders and lifting your arms to the right extent. I'm not lifting my arms too much and not turning my shoulders, and I'm not turning too much and not lifting my arms. So if you're seeing your arms come below, let's say the right shoulder here, you're probably rotating too much or too flat and letting the hands come too low. And if you're seeing your hands almost lift up in front of your face, get a bit steep, then that means you're not turning enough with this right shoulder. So from there, a few times, just create that 45-degree angle. Watch yourself in a mirror. Mirror is your best friend when it comes to these sorts of drills. And you can now see that I will be getting that golf club swinging on a better plane. And what you'll notice from there is I'm quite loose. Everything's moving. I'm not just trying to turn my shoulders. Everything is moving a little bit. I'm not trying to sort of throw my hips into action. But one big thing is I'm not really keeping my head too still. What I see so often is people trying to rotate away and keep that head over the ball. I've been told to keep my head still. All my mates have told me that I lift my head up during my swing. That's not the reason why you're not making a good backswing. I want you to let those arms move, and while my head's not moving all over the place, it does have a little bit of twist in it. It may move a tiny bit to the right. That is not the end of the world. We don't want to feel like we are so rigid we can't move our head, because then I can't rotate either. I'm not going to create a nice loose, quick and smooth golf swing. So once we've done that drill and we've set up with our sternum to the right hand side of our belt buckle, and we can move those arms at 45 degrees, it's now just a simple thing to put a golf club in your hand and try and feel yourself doing the same thing. So still, again, nice and relaxed in setup, keeping that sternum just to the right, and just start to create that 45-degree line. And I'm just watching myself here in the mirror move those hands up, and then no surprise that the golf club goes the same way as well. And the idea is then, from up at the top, I just want to make a nice smooth downswing, finish in a nice position, and there will be effortless power in that swing because everything is moving in the right sequence. This golf club, as we mentioned at the start, isn't moving from the inside and coming over the top. It's not moving outside and coming back in. It should be coming straight up on this kind of 45-degree angle, straight back down to make contact with the ball, and off out through impact at the same 45-degree angle. So we're going to give that a go. We're going to try and make a nice, easy, simple turn. Remember, setup is key first. So I'm just going to create that small tilt. I'm going to move the shaft of the driver over towards my left leg. Once I'm in that setup, I might just look back into that mirror and rehearse that 45 degrees once or twice, and then we are good to go. Now, I wouldn't suggest going full speed straight away. What I would suggest to a lot of you is, and in lessons, anyone who's had lessons with me will know this, that we should just move this golf club at a smoother pace and try and feel that 45-degree angle and build it up in swing length, but don't quite build up in speed yet. Just try and get that golf club moving in this circle, let your shoulders rotate, let everything just turn, and just hit some golf balls off at kind of 60%, where you're just trying to feel good impact. I didn't feel great impact there. I felt it slightly off the heel, the ball's curved a little, so I'm going to rehearse again, because what this sequence is going to give me and what this swing plane is going to give me is a much better chance of striking middle of the club face. So good setup again, just tilting the chest to the right hand side of the belt buckle. That was a much better strike, and because of it, the ball's gone a lot further. I've only hit that 170 yards. I'm just trying to feel the direction I'm swinging the golf club, and then over time, you can start to dial that up to full speed. And one more time, a quick rehearsal. Once I know what that feels like and what it looks like, I'm happy to make a full speed swing. That faded off a little bit on me, but it felt like the right thing to do. And the more you work on that, the better you will get at doing it. So give all those 3 things a try. Make sure that your shoulders are rotating on the right angle. Make sure that you set up, first of all, with that sternum slightly to the right-hand side of your belt buckle to allow you to make the right rotation. And from there, you'll be hitting much more consistent golf shots. You'll have much more effortless speed, and hopefully you'll be hitting the golf ball a lot further as well. Guys, if you've enjoyed this lesson and you think it's going to help your game, then please do like and subscribe. And if you want to come down to Trafford Golf Centre and see me in person and get yourself in for a lesson so we can talk about your swing personally and what things will help you and maybe what mistakes you're making, we can shave some shots off that handicap. So please do just look in the description below and contact me via any of those links there. And I'll see you in the next lesson.